Hey me angels, so I thought I would do a little video. I'm going to be doing the flowers and everything and showing you how I prepare them ready for doing arrangements and stuff like that. So I hope that you do enjoy, guys. So I'm getting all of the flowers ready that are to do with my mum's funeral. I'm making her casket spray and also a tribute spray. So I'm just getting all the bits together because I've got been and picked all the flowers and everything up today. So obviously, as you see, everywhere is all set up ready. I've got a box on the floor down here to put all of the green and stuff that I take off of the flowers and stuff. Water with the food in it. A little bit of hot water and then the rest of it cold. And then if I want to top it up a little bit, I'll do it after I've put the flowers in as well. So these flowers are obviously going to be the ones that I'm putting into the tribute one. But I will use a few of the little white ones into my mum's one as well. I've got so many flowers and stuff, it's unbelievable. So we're going to start with doing all of the foliage and getting that all out of the way and prepped and sorted. So I've got loads and loads of foliage and stuff. So this one is leather leaf. We've got blue eucalyptus. I've got 2 bags of that because I'm going to be needing to use some in the tribute one as well. Then I've got some stock. And I've got some baby's breath, which is normally your filler flower, and it's what you would just stick into areas where there may be a little hole or a little gap just to fill it all in. So we're going to start with all of the foliage and everything first. So first I'm going to get the eucalyptus ones sorted because they are not in anything. We've got some beautiful white roses and white spray roses as well that I'm going to be doing, and there's some beautiful purple flowers, 2 different types. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this all on the floor here next to everything. Everything else can just go in there. So don't lose it. So we're starting with the eucalyptus. So we'll put that there. The eucalyptus, again, is another sort of a filler flower. It's what you would use to, you know, just bring more depth into the arrangement and to make it look more filler. So it's going to be really cool showing you this. I decided to do it in a video because it's just so much easier. Then I'll just premiere it. So I've got everything that I need. The only thing I can't, oh, they're in my pocket. So obviously I've got 3 buckets. I've got 3 buckets. So one bucket's just going to have like all of the flowers for my mum's arrangement, and the other one's going to be my mum's tribute arrangement. So 1 bucket for that, and then 2 buckets for the for all of the flowers and the foliage for the little casket spray I'm making. So obviously, as you see as well, on the eucalyptus you get a lot of different branches, so you can just like snap them off or put them all in. But most of people that are like florists or people that are going to be flower designers and stuff like that, which is what I'm doing, which means you just make your own sort of thing, but you kind of still take the structure of what a florist would. You can, you know, cut these bits off and just stick them in areas. Just remember, like when you're actually just putting it into water to feed, it's really important to keep it on the stalk. Don't take all of the bits off. And as I've always said to you as well, always do the cut at an angle. It's not that one. With the eucalyptus stems as well, they're pretty hard, pretty solid. So just a little bit like that, and you just stick it into the water. So I'm going to do it as I need it. So one for like my once more flowers are in there, it'll be fine. But so we've got one bit of eucalyptus in there. Again, just off at an angle. Stick it in. So I'm going to have two bit, a big bit and a little bit for them for that. And then the rest of it will go in my big one for my mum. So again, just cutting the stem at an angle, making sure that get a clean cut. If it doesn't completely clean, you can just trim it off. As long as you've got the hole in the bottom for it to feed. So we'll do that one this side. You don't want to take too much of it off, because you don't get really long stems on your eucalyptus. And normally you would just strip it down, like the loose bits like this. You'd strip that down and just leave the bits that are like full. I'm a bit worried about that one being a bit too low, so let me take that one off. So just taking any excess leaves that you think might hit the water, take them off, because having your leaves in the water can contaminate the water, which means your flowers and your plants and whatever you're using could die, and you don't want that. That's why I don't fill the water up really high at the beginning. I do that after, because I need to make sure how much like room they've got, and obviously all the flowers need to be in the buckets as well. So like little ones like this, just a tiny bit, and I normally just stick them in with the bigger bits so that they stand up. The people that I went to, Skips, they're absolutely amazing. I had to have a bit of a wait, so I got a few little bits like freebie, which I think is absolutely amazing of them, and they are really amazing people, really good shop. I do like them. They give you really good advice. They, you know, really point you in the right direction. You need people like that. So that's the eucalyptus done, and in the buckets, just make sure they're all up, because we don't want them having their leaves in there. You've got to make sure that they're definitely in the water as well, because you do not want them to not be getting the food. Definitely not. You certainly don't want to be breaking them either, so just make sure that you've got everything where it needs to be. Right, so the next thing we're going to be working with is we'll do the leather leaf, because if I do the leather leaf I'll be able to put it behind the eucalyptus to help it stand up more. So this comes in a bag, and normally you get about 15 pieces in it. It's really beautiful, and it gives a really beautiful diamond shape, which is what I want for my mum's casket. So putting that down. Obviously it comes with sellotape and stuff as well. So elastic bands on it as well. So any rubbish I'm just going to put in because it's as it gets in the way. So you just cut the band off and just trim them down. So just bringing them up one bit at a time. So obviously using these again, you're just doing a little cut down. As long as it stems in there, it should be fine. Should have got some tissue really. Cut them and put them there. Just the bits that I'm wanting. Give me 2 minutes, guys, because there's all dirt on the flowers because obviously where they've been picked. Some kitchen towel. Gonna need it, I think. So some kitchen towel. Down so that there isn't anything left on them. Just doing a little cut. Need another 2 for them. Just try to be really gentle when you're doing it though, guys, because you don't want to break anything. This is when you walk round everywhere, you forget where you put everything. Don't know where I put my scissors down it. all of them are always at a point, because you need to have a point in your leaf so that they can take the water up. When they're flat and they're in the water, they're not able to get the drink the way that they need to, so they end up dying off really quickly. I think that would be enough for the for that one. I'm sure of it. Stems down a bit. Really dirty. And that's a beautiful one. That would be beautiful for the edge. Don't want to take too much off that. So I'm just snipping off the ends of this lemon leaf. Looking after flowers and things like that is it's a dedication, definitely. Like little ones like this, the little sprigs, don't throw them, because that you wouldn't be able to use. But these little sprigs here, that's what you call it, little sprigs. You can cut them off and just use them as little tiny bits to put into the arrangement, like as just like little fillers. And you can also use them when you're making the point sort of area to the top of the arrangement, because when you have your arrangement, it looks like a diamond, and it kind of starts out big and gets smaller as it goes to the top. Then you have you'll have your vocal flower and the line of the other ones that follow it. So it's really important. That you keep all of the bits that you get like that, like even if it's not, it don't look like there's much on it, it'll be perfect for the smaller areas and for filling in. And obviously as you do you do it as well, like you make the arrangement, you'll find that the first layer to a casket spray is quite large, so you'd have the big bits at the bottom, and then the second layer would be slightly shorter, so you would cut the stick a little bit shorter to make it a little bit more smaller than the underneath one, but it's making that sort of dome shape. It's really important that you do those sort of things. I don't know if I cut that. You don't have to cut very much off, just a clean cut, just to make sure that they're going to get their water. Because the last thing you want when you're making things for like funerals and other events is the last thing you want is your flowers drying. And like I said, the smaller sprig bits, you can use them in the top of the arrangement. You can use them in your other arrangements that you make. You might have a, like that's gone a bit, that's broke, but if you get any that break like that, you just take it off, take the first couple of little layer bits, and then just find a little cup and put them in there, because you don't want to throw them away, because when you're buying the flowers, they're not cheap, and you get the tax and everything on top of it as well. So it's really important that you don't waste any of the flowers. Like, so obviously that one's broke, so I would break it there, because that's where it's broke. And you've got like your sprig bits here, and you would just use them to go in the arrangement. So I've kind of told you what you do with these ones, so I'm not really going to say very much more about them. All I'm going to do is just put them right into the water so that they're ready. And like I said, all the little tiny bits like that, you can't keep them, they're not going to benefit you at all. But your little spriggy bits, yeah. So let's put these in as well. Make sure you've got no leaf or anything in your water, whatever you do. Like, you can't help it when you're putting them in, but try to get them out. The only thing with having so many flowers, got to try and keep them all together so that they don't go in the water. I think we're probably going to have to use this one just for all of the foliage, because it's not going to do it otherwise. It's not in the water, is it? I know it's peculiar and you're thinking, why is she so adamant to make sure that, but if you don't, you're going to have dead flowers, literally. And there's nothing worse than preparing for something and then you everything's gone wrong. So that's the other ones. Top. So we're going to have one that's going to be the foliage bucket and one that's going to be not the foliage bucket. There's way too many bits in here to put the flowers in there as well. Not in the first one I did, because you only have so much foliage you're going to use. So all I'm going to do is just stick the foliage in there as we go along. That's a beautiful one. That would be beautiful for the end. Sprig there. Put sprigs there. Be really careful with them as well, because the last thing you want to be doing is breaking them. Be careful when you go near their branch bits, and careful when you're putting them in as well, and when you're pulling them out. I'm finding it easier to cut it first, then wipe it, because I'll forget if I've wiped it or not, and then I'm going to be having problems. So much foliage, guys. So much foliage. And I love this stuff because it already gives that sort of diamond shape, so it's easy to use in the bits. Like everybody, they worry about like if bits come off or anything like that, but don't, guys, because like once it's in the actual bit, you can't. Once all of the other foliage and the flowers and stuff are in there, you can't really see if like there's little tiny bits missing off or anything like that, because it all comes in together. Most people would just let the stuff fall on the floor and just do their thing, but Sherry's a bit of an OCD, has a bit of a problem with OCD and that, when it comes to stuff like that. Get up and start doing it this way now because they're all kind of falling. So much, guys. Oh wow, you don't want to squash anything that's in it either, so you have to make sure that like your eucalyptus is not squashed or do it on here at the minute. Oh, right. Can't do it like that. It's going to make more work for me. I've not even got round to doing any tidying up or anything to do because of Drew and Sister Kerry coming. These last couple of weeks have been very, very busy. Sorting out Mum's place with my brothers and sisters and going off to see Mum yesterday and back and forth trying to make sure that the flowers and everything were ordered and being there with me, like at the house when I'm needed. We've all been working very hard to try to get things in order so there's not a lot to do after the funeral because we're going to be wanting to just relax, to be honest. I'm making this casket tomorrow. I was going to be doing it all on Sunday, but the guy said to me that I could do that on Saturday. And I thought that would be ideal because then I can do Sunday, I can just do my tribute one and stuff, which is good.